Now this is the lecture 8, another part of administrative ethics. ये आपके GS2 के गवर्नेंस पोर्शन से बहुत ज़्यादा ओवरलैप करता है, but the difference is on the application of these words like right to information, citizen charter, Sevotam model, right? Again, I will say that second administrative reforms commission की जो fourth report है, ethics in governance, that you have to mention over here the things that are mentioned in that government document. You have to supplement it. Okay? Let's begin the class. Probity in governance. So probity is what? It is procedural integrity in public life. Integrity was what? Satyanishtha. My actions are in coherence with my thoughts even when nobody is watching. Now, this kind of ethical value system is seen in a public life, right? The public officials, they have to act in public interest. They have to ensure that there is complete absence of graft or any kind of corrupt practices. When I am saying this word probity, you can draw a diagram that this is honesty, this is integrity, and the larger part over here is probity. That means if you are a district collector and you get the government vehicle, so that government vehicle has to be used only for the public work. For your private works, you will use your personal vehicle. Now this is ensuring that there is no misappropriation of government funds. Is it clear? So you can clearly mention over here that property is procedural integrity. Now there is a quote in second ARC which they mention that rivers don't drink their water themselves. Okay, trees do not consume their own fruits, and clouds do not eat the grains they raise. Similarly, the wealth of the citizens or the individuals should be used solely for the benefit of the nation. Is it clear? Second ARC has mentioned two very classic examples over here. Let me discuss one of this. What happened during the time of Tony Blair government, a minister had to resign from the post. Why? Because he had speed fastened the visa process of his nanny. A nanny is for his personal use. That is not for the public purpose, right? He did it for his personal own family interest. So this showed the lack of probity in governance. Similarly, we had seen in India the classic Mudgal case over here. Apart from this, during 2018, it was Justice Kurian. He was the one person who was chairing the case of the Italian mariners. Okay, there was this case that time. So when he went to the Vatican City, when he was invited over there, he ensured that there is probity in governance. He did not participate. He did not, despite being a Christian and despite being his personal religious ethics, he did not participate any kind of other religious practices of Catholic Christians over there. Why? He avoided it to ensure that this is probity in governance. I have come here for the official visit. I have not come here for my personal visit. Sir Vishveshwarya, he had two lamps when he used to do the work. One lamp was for he was doing the documentation of public work. He was doing the documentation of the government. That time he used that lamp. Second time he lit another lamp when he was doing his own personal work. Is it clear? मतलब आप गवर्नमेंट की कोई भी चीज का मिसयूज उन कामों में नहीं करेंगे, जो उन कामों में नहीं, किसी भी ऐसे कामों में नहीं करेंगे which lead to corruption. And even if you are using the government power for some kind of influential personal work, then there is lack of probity. Conceptual clarity clear हो गया कि what is probity? Okay. Now, principles क्या क्या हैं? We have already seen accountability. I have discussed in last class. Transparency, पारदर्शिता, impartiality, there is fairness, but there is no favoritism. There is confidentiality, right? You don't pass on the sensitive information. There is in the management of various stakeholders, you avoid that there is conflict of interest and you keep your duty supreme to everything. Is it clear? How do you ensure the probity in governance? अभी ये सब आपके ना external mechanisms हो गए. These external mechanisms are a top-down approach. Let's discuss these. You are strengthening the RTA. A citizen is coming and he is telling that I am not getting my subsidy. He asks from the government that how should I avail this subsidy. There is transparent law leading to citizen centricity. There is usage of information communication and technology, right? There is usage of e-governance, which will usher into good governance. There is whistleblower protection. Now, ethical training and code of ethics. Now, in ethical training, you have to clearly mention about mission, karma, yogi over here. And code of ethics, these are the guidelines for the civil servants that they must adhere to. Now, this word probity, it is very essential to ensure it leads to it leads to further ushering of ethical good governance in the administration. But ये सब एक्सटर्नल चीजें हैं. आपने ट्रेनिंग दे दी, आपने कुछ रूल्स रेगुलेशंस लगा दिए. अगेन देयर इज द रोल ऑफ conscience. Sir Vishweshwarya, he was using these lamps even when nobody is watching. He is doing it by himself. So this kind of decision making leads to probity in governance. Now, second topic over here is concept of public service. ठीक है. Now, the public service should be transparent, efficient and affordable for all the citizens of society. अगर हमने National Food Security Act निकाला है, not हमने, सरकार ने, तो it should be available. Service must actually exist. It should be affordable to everyone. It should be accessibility. It should be accessible for everyone, right? Now, this public service, it should be based on the model of citizen centricity and welfare government. Apart from this, there should be transparency, responsiveness and accountability for whatever welfare schemes government takes out. Is it clear? Now, there are certain value development elements over here. First of all, ethical and professional training to the civil servants. Second thing, merit based recruitment जो आपका UPSC एग्जाम कराती है. Leadership with integrity and empathy. You see this in the case of many times there is disaster management in the city, right? If a leader, if a district collector has that kind of integrity to be honest, even when there is no rules and regulations, and he has empathy for those who have been suffering because of the disaster, then it leads to again ethical good governance. ठीक है. Performance appraisal and accountability, this is another external check method over here. Yes, code of ethics and code of conduct. We are very quickly going to see how these both are different, and UPSC in 2024 has already asked a question on this. Code of ethics are merely some guidelines and code of conduct are the written rules and regulations, right, which have been mentioned and prescribed for the civil servants. Now, examples, let's see over here. In Manrega, we have seen that it leads to insurance of wages, and we had seen that there are proper social audit channels over here. The Citizen Charter, it promotes the time-bound delivery of the services. Example of ethical leadership, we have seen in the case of E. Sridharan that despite a lot of pressure from the political parties and the contractors, he was the one who led to completion of Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. Okay? Now, another topic over here is philosophical basis of governance. You don't have to go into that depth, but for the explanation, I'm trying to tell you that it is said that according to the Indian philosophy, that there are three gunas in a person and the balance is very much required. The person should be guided by the Satagur. Sata means wisdom and purity and justice, right? Rajas is ambition. Yes, the leader should have that ambition and the leader should avoid the tamas gun where he is ignoring the marginalized section of the society. These kind of uh, gunas should be in proper balance. Doctrine of karma. Whatever you do, as it should be, you should treat it as a duty. You should have a nishkam karma. ठीक है, nishkam karma. You should believe that it is your duty for the duty's sake, that you have to work for the welfare of the people. There is a doctrine of higher self and lower self, and a person realizes what is my higher purpose in life. Doctrine of oneness and giving. Now, this comes from Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that we all are one, and there should be that I have become a civil servant, now I have to return it back to the society. Is it clear? And there is almost second ARC, there is mentioning of this Vedantic idol, Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. Now this means you are having your self development as an individual, but you are also caring about the welfare of the citizens around you. Although this is not that you will be very much required in answer writing, but you should know somewhere doctrine of karma, higher self, lower self, you can mention over there. And then yes, a bureaucrat should be guided with the concepts of Sarvodaya, welfare for all, and Antodaya, reaching the welfare to the last mile connectivity. Is it clear? Now, if you see the contemporary relevance of this in the policies like Sustainable Development Goal, where there is provision of climate justice. In life, again, this is related to your climate change and bringing climate justice. In Ayushman Bharat, where there is taking care of the health welfare needs of the citizen and constitutional morality. These all contemporary examples are reflecting the ethical foundations in the modern time of governance. Is it clear? Another topic over here is information sharing and transparency in government. Given that it is the time of fake news, right? Post-truth era democracy we have entered. So what is happening, that the information that has to reach to the citizens has to be correct. It has to be not biased. So what happens if there is correct information, because information is a currency, then what is going to happen? It will lead to transparency in government, and this happens because of right to information act. अगर citizen को कहीं पे भी किसी चीज का कोई doubt है, he can put a RTI to the government and government has to answer, provided it is not under some subsections of the RTI. Like it is not hampering the national integrity and security of the nation. There are certain sections in section 8. You have to see through, that's a part of GS2 paper in governance. Okay. All this, if there is a proper framework of information sharing, it will lead to enhance in accountability, participatory democracy, building trust and integrity in the governance. Now, see, in information sharing, this I was discussing, Right to Information Act, which is based on the concept of POI. I is your information, O is your openness, and T is your transparency. ठीक है. So what happens, the citizen, they can seek the information within 30 days and the government is bound to reply to them. ठीक है. It covers all the executive, legislature, judiciary and government funded bodies. Now this also promotes proactive disclosure and digitalization of records, and yes, it overrides secrecy under the Official Secret Act. Official Secret Act कब आया था? During the time of Lord Curzon. It is a British Victorian imperialist law, right? PIOs, public information officers, they are allocated. They try to ensure, or they try to readdress the grievances of the citizen in a time-bound manner. Now, there are certain challenges. What happens sometimes there is misuse and there are excessive RTI applications with the government, delay in the appeal, the enforcement mechanism is not very good, there is lack of awareness among the people, and there is a poor record management. These are the few things which lead to not usage of RTI in a very efficient manner. But RTI की शुरुआत हुई कब से थी? It was basically मजदूर किसान शक्ति संगठन in Rajasthan Jan Sunwai rolls, where they had asked for the RTI, right? They had asked for the wage which were given to the workers over there, ki who are the beneficiaries and what government is giving to whom. So they asked the clarity. This is also the mechanism of social audit, where people are asking the government question, right? RTI has also helped to expose the Adarsh Housing Society scam. Another topic over here is Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct. I've already mentioned, 2024 में बहुत clear cut पूछा था what is the difference between both of them. Code of Ethics आपके guidelines होते हैं. These are just inspirational documents like the foundational values in civil services. Integrity, honesty, impartiality, accountability and transparency. It is upholding the constitutional values and rule of law. This leads to fairness, empathy and professionalism. Okay, it guides the conduct where the laws are silent, and because of this what happens, it builds the public trust in the people. Now Nolan committee, I've already discussed in detail. You can go and see in my lecture 5 in your second ARC. It has specifically mentioned that in public life there have to be 7 principles. One is selflessness in the bureaucrat. Selflessness means that any act that I am doing it as a duty. I am not expecting something in return. Integrity मतलब सत्यनिष्ठा, जो मैं बोल रही हूँ, ठीक है, जो मैं कर रही हूँ, there is coherency even when nobody is watching. Objectivity, it is rule based, fact oriented, rational government. Accountability, there I have a responsibility, but I have a answerability to the things. I hold myself accountable to it. Openness, that means there is transparency. The information is shared clearly. Honesty means being truthful. And 7th, leadership. In the time of crisis, can you take the right decision making? So these are the major 7 principles in public life which Nolan committee has mentioned. Apart from this, you can mention in your exam that a public service code has been specifically mentioned by second ARC, which again is giving the similar principles based on the constitutional morality. Okay. Now code of conduct, वो क्या था? एस्पिरेशनल डॉक्यूमेंट या गाइडलाइंस. ये क्या है? ये रूल बेस्ड एनफोर्सिएबल फ्रेमवर्क है. दिस इज written, this is mentioned in the government document. आप जब रेलवे सर्विसेज में होते हैं तो there are some all India conduct railway rules, there are procedures for the civil servants 1964. These all are specifically mentioned. ठीक है. It defines and it defines acceptability and prohibitions of the conduct. It ensures political neutrality and integrity, prevents corruption and violation. जब भी इसका होता है तो it attracts disciplinary action. Why? Because these are, again I'm mentioning, the written rules. जैसे All India Civil Service Conduct Rules 1968, Central Civil Service Conduct Rules 1964. Let's very quickly see the difference between them via the passage format. See over here. This is the model answer for 2024 ethics paper. Code of ethics क्या है? आपका एक aspirational document है, आप aspire कर रहे हैं. Nothing has been specifically codified or mentioned that there will be any action taken against the civil servant. That is not there. Code of conduct क्या है? These are directional documents. Do this or do that. These are just the core values, and these are do and don'ts in the behavior. Scope, these are wide. They are non-specific because these are related to the public values. Now these are specific and they are routine controlled. They are publicly available. They are for the employee only. This is the primary source where the value originates, and these are derived from the ethics. They encourage judgment. They are non-specific. They are very specific and clear-cut instructions. There is no penalty for code of ethics, but the penalties are mentioned in code of conduct. Now this leads to ethical internal reflection and decision making, and this leads to accountability in the governance. Is it clear the difference between the two? एक लिखित नहीं है, एक लिखित है, एक डॉक्यूमेंट की तरह है, कोई लीगल एक्शन नहीं लिया जा सकता है. एक क्योंकि लिखित है प्रॉपर गवर्नमेंट डॉक्यूमेंट में, तो पीनल एक्शंस हो सकते हैं उसके खिलाफ. ठीक है. Citizen charter. Citizen charter is time-bound delivery of the services to the citizens, leading to citizen-centric governance. What happens? It is a public commitment by government agencies which is specifying the services, the timelines, the quality standards, the grievance redressal mechanism. All this leads to accountability, transparency, and citizen centricity. Right. Example, you can note down Karnataka's Sakala Service Act. It ensures timely delivery of the public services with penalties within a few days. Apart from this, there are certain limitations also over here. That lack of awareness is one of the major things which people don't know. When you visit a government website, or any services you take, there is a citizen charter specifically mentioned. Lack of accountability and funding. It's a top down approach. आप अगर किसी के अंदर ethical value system का generation करेंगे and you are imposing it from the top, will that sustain? No, it has to come from within. Unrealistic timelines and weak monitoring. So in citizen centricity, in citizen charter, what second ARC has specifically mentioned, it is mentioned about the Sevottam model. You can mention Sevottam model for citizen centricity leading to effective ethical governance for the nation. Is it clear? Now, another topic which is specifically mentioned over here is work culture. Now, the work culture is not only ruled by laws and regulations, it ensures that there is ethics and morality present apart from law in whatever work culture a civil servant is. There are certain norms and there are certain value system in the organization. Is it clear? If there is a good work culture, it will lead to punctuality, it will lead to discipline, it will lead to teamwork and accountability, integrity and professionalism, respect for dignity of work, transparency and cooperation. And Vivekananda has very clearly mentioned that work is worship, right? Now, in this work culture, there are various dilemmas which are faced between the person and the organization, just say organizational goals and employees' rights. Loyalty to the superiors versus accountability to the citizens. You have to choose accountability to the citizens. You have to choose for the organizational goal. Political interference versus professional efficiency. Definitely, it has to be professional efficiency. I'm repeating. Lecture 7 and lecture 8 are specifically for your case studies. आप as it is in keywords को उठा के case study को justify करेंगे. ठीक है? Many a times there are causes of poor work culture. This is due to corruption and lack of discipline, political interference, weak accountability system and poor infrastructure and teamwork. पर अगर आप देखें जब चंद्रयान 3 mission was successful, it was a teamwork, it was a good work culture among the ISRO organization which led to the successful launch of the mission. Is it clear? Another topic over here is quality of service delivery. Now you have made citizen charter, but the citizens, the kind of services they are getting, is it quality based? Now here we are going to see SurveyQual model, means that the quality of services is meeting the citizens expectations over here, that there is reliability, consistent service delivery, there is assurance, competence and trust, there are tangibles, physical evidence of the services, there is empathy, courtesy and grievance handling and responsiveness, timely action and delivery. Issues क्या आते हैं governance में, that there is a lot of red tapeism and delay, file and procedures, the file is moving from here to there, अभी फाइल इधर गई है, अभी फाइल इधर गई है, फाइल ठंडे बस्ते में पड़ गई है, right? These are the issues. Weak grievance redressal, lack of innovation and coordination, monopolistic public services. अभी तो काफी diverse हो गया है. Initially the public service before LPG era 1991, they were completely monopolistic. Yes, this is what I was trying to talk, that second ARC has specifically mentioned about the Sevottam model. This you can mention in your answer, and you can draw a diagram like this in your copy. These three are the pillars which lead to, okay, this is your Sevottam model: citizen empowerment, grievance redressal, and effective service delivery capacity. Is it clear? Example, you have seen that Passport Seva Kendra, they have improved upon the transparency. Another thing which you see over here, Aadhaar based DBT, it has reduced the leakages and fasten the delivery process, fasten the dispersal of welfare schemes to the citizens. Okay. Another topic over here is utilization of public funds. What are these public funds? These are taxpayer money. अब चैप्टर का नाम था प्रॉपर्टी. ये सारी चीजें विल लीड टू प्रॉपर्टी इन गवर्नेंस. आपको इंटरलिंकेजेस करने आने चाहिए इसमें. Now this is also one of the parameter of probity in governance, when the utilization of public fund leads to efficient, transparent, accountable and public welfare orientation programs. Is it clear? Now there are certain canons of public utilization fund. One is efficiency. In whatever input the government is putting, the output has to be maximized. The economy, there should not be spendthriftiness, rather there should be frugality. Propriety, okay, the funds should be used, authorized and ethically. There should be transparency, there should be openness. Again the challenges, corruption, leakages, ये थोड़ा सा GS2 से related है, so we will not go into these technical parts over here, just I am discussing in brief. Corruption and leakages, red tapeism, weak accountability, poor financial management, and one of the reason also over here is understaffing and administrative inefficiency. But what are the best practices we have seen over here? These are social audit. under Mahatma Gandhi Manrega scheme, we have seen the digital system which have improved the efficiency and good public utilization of fund, outcome budgeting, public private partnership. Where all these public funds, they are people's money, so they should be used for the welfare of the public. Another last topic which UPSC has mentioned in your syllabus is corruption, its causes, concepts, consequences. Now you have to understand that you are studying this part in GS2. There are external mechanism check which we will be studying, but there is some kind of internalization of the value system. हमने जो भी पूरा पेपर पढ़ा है उसका मान यही है कि when there is a government official entering into the field work or into the services, when the aspirant is turning into a government official, he ensures that the corrupt practices are reduced to very minimal and there is rise of public trust for the welfare, right? So basically what does this mean? Let's see the definition. It is abuse of entrusted power for any kind of private gain. Kautilya has very rightly said कि जिस तरह से एक मटके में एक मछली कितना पानी पीती है, we can never know. Similarly, we can never know about the treasuries of the government when the government official is present over there. So it is upon the internalization of the value system of the government servant that the chance of corruption can be reduced to very minimal, which will lead to ethical good governance. World Bank has specifically mentioned a definition: misuse of public office for the private profit. Transparency International, it has mentioned abuse of entrusted power for the private gain. Corruptions can be, जैसे petty corruption हो गया, आपने छोटा मोटा कोई bribe ले लिया the government official, that is wrong. Another thing, grand corruption, large scale scam, जैसे आदर्श सोसाइटी स्कैम हुआ था, कॉमनवेल्थ स्कैम हुआ था. पॉलिटिकल करप्शन, वोट बाइंग, वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स. सिस्टमिक करप्शन. Now systemic corruption, basically this is embedded in the institution. India is highly affected by systemic corruption क्योंकि system ही ऐसे चल रहा है. ठीक है, we have moved from, after 1991 we have moved from coercive corruption to collusive corruption. Now we have entered into that era. Causes क्या है? Red tapeism. फाइल पास नहीं हो रही है, आपने कुछ सेवा पानी के लिए वहां पे फॉरवर्ड किया and that moves on in the hierarchy. This is actually happening in real time scenarios. So this is one of the causes. Excessive discretion, किसी एक ब्यूरोक्रेट के हाथ में बहुत पावर आ गई है. Weak institutions है. There is low accountability. There is a nexus between the politics and the business class. Cultural acceptance है कि हाँ चलता है, दे 200 रुपए. जब हम ट्रैफिक पुलिस के उसमें जाते हैं तो यार लाइक कि भैया छोड़ दो, हेलमेट नहीं पहना है, बिकॉज चालान कटेगा तो पट के बिल आएगा 2000 रुपए. यू हैव टू गो टू द कोर्ट, सो यू अवॉइड ऑल दोज थिंग्स एंड यू आर लाइक कि ये लो आप 500 रुपए रखो. दिस इज रॉन्ग इन द पर्सनल लाइफ. Similarly, this is happening at a greater institutional level. क्यों ये पेपर है? ये पेपर इसलिए है, पहले आप रूट कॉज को आइडेंटिफाई तो करें. सिस्टम को क्लीन करने के लिए सबसे पहले ये जरूरी है कि सिस्टम में आने वाले लोगों को पता तो होना चाहिए एथिक्स होता क्या है, राइट? इसमें से अगर कुछ का भी कॉन्शियसनेस जग गया, इट विल लीड टू एथिकल गुड गवर्नेंस. Consequences: economic losses, misuse of government funds and resources, weakening of the institution and democracy, erosion of public trust, criminalization of politics. अब इसको combat कैसे करें? First of all, हमने जो भी syllabus में पढ़ा है ऊपर, lecture 7 and lecture 8 के starting में, Right to Information Act, citizens are getting empowered, e-governance, bringing transparency, Lokpal, Central Vigilance Commission, and other vigilance mechanism. इसके अलावा social audits and whistleblower protection and ethical leadership. Here comes the major role of the bureaucrats over here. There have been certain best practices which have led to decrease in corruption's level? You can mention in your answer, I think, Singapore's anti-corruption model, Hong Kong's independent commission against corruption, and there is United Nation Convention against corruption. These are few global practices, but मैं फिर बोलूंगी ये सब एक तरह की external accountability mechanisms हैं. What is required जब इंसान एक सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज पोजीशन पे पहुंच जाए और उसको ये रियलाइज हो दैट व्हाई आई एम इनटू द सर्विसेज, व्हाई आई एम डूइंग ऑल दिस, दैट इज द रियल टाइम व्हेन which will lead to ethical good governance. Let's very quickly see the question over here. It is often said that poverty leads to corruption. However, there is no dearth of instances where affluent and powerful people they indulge in corrupt practices in big way. We have seen in Commonwealth Games. What are the basic causes of corruption among the people? And support your answer with the example. अब क्या करेंगे, बहुत सारे बच्चे इस पे करप्शन की डेफिनेशन लिखेंगे और करप्शन के कुछ कॉजेस लिख देंगे. सोशल कॉज गरीबी है, बिकॉज नाउ इट इज लिंकिंग टू poverty to corruption. The major topic that you have to highlight over here is social cause over here, right? सो आफ्टर, हाँ, बहुत बच्चे डेफिनेशन लिखेंगे, उसके बाद उसके मल्टीपल कॉजेस बता देंगे और उसके बाद एग्जाम्पल लिख देंगे और आंसर को वहीं छोड़ देंगे. दिस इज नॉट अ यूनिवर्सिटी एग्जाम, दिस इज अ एग्जाम वेर यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम ब्यूरोक्रेट्स. तो आपको इस क्वेश्चन में पूछा नहीं है, लेकिन आपको वे फॉरवर्ड में ये स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन करना है व्हाट आर द मेजर्स टू reduce or minimize the corruption. Is it clear? This is where I tell the students to keep writing the answers. Today we find that in spite of various mechanisms, जैसे code of conduct, vigilance, commission, RTI and all, active media, strengthening of legal mechanism, corrupt practices are not under the control. Is it true? The statement is asking. Yes, definitely. Evaluate the effectiveness of these measures with justification. So इसमें आपको दोनों पहलू लिखने हैं. पहले आपको ये मेंशन करना है किस तरह से आरटीआई एक ट्रांसपेरेंट गवर्नमेंट लेके आया. आप जन सुनवाई के एग्जांपल्स लिखिए, राइट? आप कैग की ऑडिट रिपोर्ट के बारे में लिखिए. आप पहले इसको सब्सटैंशिएट करिए, बट दिस इज, यू हैव टू मेंशन दैट दीज आर मियरली एक्सटर्नल अकाउंटेबिलिटी चेक. व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इज इंटरनलाइजेशन ऑफ वैल्यूज. उसके लिए भी कुछ एक्सटर्नल मैकेनिज्म्स हैं, जैसे एथिकल ट्रेनिंग, मिशन कर्मयोगी. यू हैव टू मेंशन दैट, एंड देयर हैज टू बी अ प्रॉपर training center for the bureaucrats who are already into the services, where they realize that what is their higher purpose. Okay. हाँ, ये है ना क्वेश्चन, इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ दीज मेजर्स. उसके बाद आपको इफेक्टिव स्ट्रैटेजीज मेंशन करनी है. आप इस जो मेनेंस क्रिएट हुआ है इसकी वजह से उसको कैसे हैंडल करेंगे. I think that some recent developments such as introduction of RTI, media, judiciary are proving helpful in bringing about greater transparency and accountability. Yes. फिर देखिए, repeat किया है क्वेश्चन को. 2014 and 2015. I think this was the question of 2015 only. In a very different way, they have asked the similar question. Again, they are asking that how, suggest that how this dichotomy can be reduced. You have to suggest the way. Now they are checking your innovativeness. They are checking कि आपको ethics का syllabus दिया है, आपने पढ़ लिया है, क्या आप समझ पा रहे हैं, या आप सिर्फ ये बोल रहे हैं कि हम external accountability measures, क्या आप उसको internal value system से supplement कर सकते हैं. This is what they are asking. Discuss the public service code as mentioned in the second ARC. ये मैंने ऊपर mention किया था, that in your code of ethics, the second ARC has specifically discussed about a public service code where there are certain public values that have to be adhered by the civil servant. Citizen Charter, again, it is a instrument for organizational accountability, but it has its own limitations. अभी मैंने discuss किया था, lack of awareness, weak enforcement, right? Weak mechanism. Apart from this, the various loopholes, red tapeism. So you have to identify all this, and then you have to mention the measures ki citizen charter ko bhi kaise strengthen kiya jaye. This question I was asking, I was telling you, code of ethics and code of conduct, you have to distinguish between them, giving example. Code of ethics kya hota hai? Integrity, accountability, something which is a aspirational guideline documents. Code of conduct kya hota hai? These are your written document format, जैसे all India civil service conduct rules, which are specifically mentioned and which can be penalized against the civil servant. Right to information is not all about citizen empowerment alone. It essentially redefines the concept of accountability, because again accountability is a two-way process. ठीक है, सिटीजन ने कुछ काम किया है, उसके बाद इट इज आस्किंग द गवर्नमेंट दैट प्लीज गिव अस द data about it. Again, information sharing has to happen in a very transparent manner. This you have to discuss over. I think that is it. In next last session, I will be discussing the case studies and how to approach the case studies.